what we're witnessing right now isn't just another World Cup story. It might be the beginning of the biggest controversy of the entire FIFA World Cup 2026. And the shocking part? This isn't about a red card. It's not about VAR. It's not even about what happened on the pitch. Because while fans around the world were getting ready to celebrate the biggest football tournament ever, something unexpected started happening behind the scenes. Thousands of supporters began reporting problems. Questions started spreading across social media. Frustration started growing. And now, FIFA is facing a wave of criticism that nobody expected just weeks into the tournament. There are really two stories unfolding right now. One is happening in public for everyone to see. The other is quietly developing behind the scenes. And trust me, both of them could have a major impact on how people remember World Cup 2026. Before we break it all down, if you love FIFA news, World Cup coverage, football controversy, and the biggest stories from around the game, make sure to like this video, subscribe to FIFA Nation Report, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let's talk about what just happened. Story number 1 begins with what should have been one of the greatest celebrations in football history. World Cup 2026 was designed to be bigger than any tournament before it. More teams, more matches, more cities, more fans. Everything about this competition was supposed to make history. And in many ways, it already has. Packed stadiums, massive television audiences, incredible atmospheres, dramatic matches. The football itself has delivered plenty of memorable moments. But while cameras focused on the action inside the stadiums, another story was quietly building outside them. A story involving tickets. And that story is now becoming impossible to ignore. Reports began surfacing from supporters who claimed they were struggling to secure access to matches despite following FIFA's official ticketing process. Others questioned allocations. Some complained about availability. And many simply wanted answers. Social media platforms quickly became flooded with frustrated reactions. Fans who had waited years for this tournament suddenly found themselves asking the same question. How did things become so complicated? At first, many people assumed these were isolated cases. After all, every World Cup faces logistical challenges. Every major sporting event deals with ticket demand. And with millions of supporters trying to attend matches, some disappointment is inevitable. But then more stories emerged. And that's when things started getting interesting. Because ticket complaints were no longer the only issue being discussed. Security concerns began entering the conversation. Travel concerns started attracting attention. Questions regarding access and restrictions became increasingly difficult to avoid. Suddenly, what looked like a simple ticketing discussion was becoming something much larger. And that's where this controversy really started to grow. Now, it's important to be clear. FIFA continues to operate the tournament. Matches are being played. Stadiums are hosting games. The competition itself is moving forward. But critics argue that several off-field issues have created an atmosphere of uncertainty that many supporters never expected. And one situation in particular has attracted enormous attention: the discussion surrounding Iranian supporters. This topic has become one of the most debated issues of the tournament. Questions regarding travel access, fan attendance, security planning, and ticket availability have generated headlines across multiple countries. Supporters have voiced frustration. Commentators have raised concerns. And football fans around the world have started paying close attention. The reason? Because the World Cup has always been promoted as a celebration of global football. A tournament where fans from every corner of the planet come together. When questions emerge about who can attend, how they can attend, and whether everyone is being treated fairly, emotions naturally become involved. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. The conversation has become bigger than football. Much bigger. Some supporters believe FIFA should have anticipated these challenges long before the tournament began. Others argue that many of these issues are beyond FIFA's direct control. And that's where opinions start to split. Because depending on who you ask, this is either a serious organizational failure or a situation being unfairly exaggerated. But before we get to that debate, there's something else happening that deserves attention. Because ticket controversy alone isn't what's putting FIFA under pressure. It's the combination of multiple issues arriving at the same time. And that brings us to story number 2, the one developing behind the scenes. According to growing reports and fan discussions, concerns have been raised regarding overall tournament management, security preparations, and the experience supporters expected compared to what some are actually encountering. Again, there is no single dramatic event responsible for this. Instead, critics point to a series of smaller issues. Each one may appear manageable on its own, but together, they create a very different picture. A picture that FIFA would probably prefer not to see dominating headlines. Think about it. This tournament was supposed to showcase football's future. Instead, conversations are increasingly focused on logistics, tickets, security, travel, access, restrictions, administration. Those aren't the headlines FIFA wants. Yet those are exactly the discussions gaining momentum online. And the pressure is growing. Every day new reactions appear. Every day more supporters share their experiences. Every day the debate becomes louder. What's fascinating is how quickly public opinion can change. Just a few weeks ago, anticipation was everywhere. Fans were counting down the days. Stadium previews dominated social media. Predictions filled football television shows. The mood was overwhelmingly positive. No. The atmosphere feels different. Not entirely negative, but definitely more complicated. Questions are replacing excitement. Concern is replacing certainty. And perhaps most importantly, trust is being tested. Because when supporters invest time, money, and emotion into attending a World Cup, expectations are incredibly high. Anything that interferes with that experience immediately becomes a major story. That's exactly why this controversy refuses to disappear. The more people talk about it, the more attention it receives. And the more attention it receives, the harder it becomes for FIFA to move beyond it. Yet despite all the criticism, there is another side to this story. Many observers point out that organizing the largest World Cup in history was never going to be easy. The tournament spans multiple countries. The logistics are enormous. Security requirements are unprecedented. Transportation systems face immense pressure. And millions of supporters are moving across different locations throughout the competition. From that perspective, some believe the challenges we're seeing are simply the reality of hosting an event of this scale. No tournament this large can operate perfectly. Mistakes happen. Unexpected situations emerge. Adjustments become necessary. Supporters of FIFA argue exactly that. They believe criticism has become excessive. They point to successful matches, strong attendance numbers, exciting atmospheres, and a tournament that, despite controversy, continues attracting global attention. That's why this story remains so fascinating. There isn't universal agreement. There isn't one clear answer. There isn't one side that everybody supports. Instead, football fans remain divided. Some believe FIFA deserves criticism. Others believe FIFA is being unfairly targeted. And that disagreement is keeping this controversy alive. Meanwhile, every new development adds another layer. Every statement creates fresh debate. Every social media reaction fuels another round of discussion. The story continues evolving. And FIFA knows it. Because football governing bodies understand something very important. Perception matters. Sometimes perception matters almost as much as reality. Even if major operational problems never materialize, the existence of widespread concern can still create a public relations challenge. And that's exactly where FIFA finds itself today, trying to manage a historic World Cup while simultaneously responding to growing criticism. Not an easy position to be in, especially when emotions are involved, especially when fans feel frustrated, and especially when every development spreads across the internet within seconds. The next few weeks could become extremely important. If concerns fade away, this controversy may eventually become a footnote in World Cup history, something briefly discussed before attention returned entirely to football. But if criticism continues growing, if new complaints emerge, if supporters remain dissatisfied, then this story could become much bigger, because controversies have a habit of evolving. What begins as frustration can become pressure. Pressure can become scrutiny. And scrutiny can create consequences nobody originally expected. That's why so many people are watching closely. Not because the tournament is failing. Not because football has stopped delivering excitement. But because nobody knows where this story goes next. And that's the most interesting part of all. We're still in the middle of it. The final chapter hasn't been written. The biggest developments may still be ahead. For FIFA, the challenge is obvious. Keep the focus on football. Reduce concerns. Restore confidence. Ensure supporters feel heard. And most importantly, prevent this controversy from overshadowing the tournament itself. Whether they succeed remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. The conversation isn't ending anytime soon. World Cup 2026 was supposed to make history because of what happened on the pitch. Instead, it's now making headlines for what is happening away from it as well. And that's why fans everywhere are paying attention. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think FIFA is being unfairly criticized? Or do you believe the ticket controversy reveals deeper problems that need immediate attention? Is this simply the challenge of organizing the biggest World Cup ever? Or is there something much bigger developing behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy FIFA Nation Report, make sure to subscribe, because this story is far from over. We'll be following every update, every reaction, and every new development as World Cup 2026 continues.